Welcome, diecast collectors and truck enthusiasts. Thank you once again for joining me for an all-new edition of Diecast Emporium. I'm Tommy, your host, and in today's video, we're going to be looking at one of the newer releases to Greenlight's 1/64 scale SD truck series. This is Series 14, the 1982 Chevrolet C-60 Fertilizer Truck. Now, if you're not familiar with Greenlight Collectibles, they are a die-cast manufacturer out of Indianapolis, Indiana. They specialize in 1/64 scale, 1/18 scale, and 1/43 scale high-quality replicas of die-cast vehicles. And one of the truck series that they specialize in is their SD series line, although they also have an HD series line. In all of these releases, there are usually 3 vehicles in the series, as seen on the back here. So in addition to the fertilizer truck, you can see that there's also a C-60 propane truck and a 2020 Mack LR rear loader refuse truck. Now, I found this on the pegs at my local Hobby Lobby, thus the price tag up here for $19.99. Now, I did not pay $20 for this. Hobby Lobby often has a coupon, which I used for this because $19.99 is actually pretty expensive for these. That's a pretty high percentage markup for these SD trucks. Usually you can find them for well under $15 if you have a Meijer near you, or even some Target stores are now carrying Greenlight products. So, with that out of the way, you've already seen the majority of the packaging, but one thing I want to mention here, because at least on my channel anyway, I have always been interested in giving companies my feedback. I have been in the diecast business for well over 20 years, approaching 30 years at this point, and I always like to provide my opinions and constructive feedback and criticism because I want to see companies get better and cater towards what we want from a collector's point of view. I understand they have their goals from a business side, but I hate this style of packaging because when you open this, you are one and done. You cannot put this back in because you have to cut this open and your packaging is damaged, meaning that you basically kill the longevity or the investment that you just had for this model. Now, I get it. This is not a high-end model by any stretch of the imagination, but you are still paying $15, $20 for something like this, and it would be nice if they had something just like this for their packaging with ends that open like this, that just flop open like a cardboard end that you could just pull the model out and put it back in for safekeeping. I understand that they use this package so that they can hang it on pegs. However, they could use the same style packaging that they use for their 1/18 scale and 1/43 scale vehicles, which is the exact same packaging that I am suggesting for these, and they could still keep it at a relatively inexpensive production cost. So that is my big suggestion for these. I think it would improve the overall presentation of the model and obviously, most importantly, keep us collectors happy with the improved box presentation style. Okay, so let's get this thing out of the box. There is a diecast collector hack, I like to call, which still destroys the box, but if you take an X-Acto knife and you go from about here all the way around, which as you can see, even on my terrible, cheap quality camera, you can see that I have already done. Doing this creates a lip, so you can lift open the back part of the card, which is the box, this is technically a card, to create somewhat of a clamshell style effect, so that when you pull this open from the back, like this, you are creating yourself a lip, or a clamshell, that when you pull the back of this back, you can reach in, grab the model, and then when you're done with it, if you don't have a permanent layout, or if you need to put your model back in the box, say you're moving or transporting it to a show, you can safely push this back down, clip this in, and then I am shaking this very abruptly. Your model is not going to fall back out. Again, you still destroy the packaging, which is my biggest beef with these, but then again, your model is secure and safe, and for the most part, away from dust and dirt. So let's get this thing out of the box. We're almost 5 minutes into this video, but it is important when I do these reviews, it's not just about the model. It's about the packaging, it's about my thoughts on what can be improved, because believe it or not, the model manufacturers do come across these videos, and they do care about our feedback. So, here is the Chevrolet fertilizer truck out of the box. So we're going to take just a short break here. I'm going to get rid of this packaging, and when we come back, we're going to look at this truck much more closely, so please don't go anywhere. Okay, let's begin the review by taking a look at the front part of the cab of the fertilizer truck. These C-Series cabs from the 70s and 80s, I personally was actually a fan of, even though I've really never been a fan of Chevrolet as a whole. But I always thought they looked pretty good, and I think that they have encapsulated it pretty well with the front look of this. This grille piece appears to be an insert, and it's really well done. You can obviously see the Chevy bow tie, the headlights, the yellow or the gold outline, and then, of course, your grille part here. You have your lower grille here, which is just painted black. It is part of the casting, and then obviously your orange bumper. The cab is a die-cast metal piece. Moving up a bit, you have the air inlets just at the bottom of the windshield, and your running lights up on top. One noticeable absence from this tooling, and I don't know why they were not included, because most of the SD and HD series trucks have them. You will notice that there are no side view mirrors. However, the nice tooling and decal continue with the door latch, the lock, and a small grab rail here. You can also see a small decal here. You do have an orange or amber turn indicator, and the wheels are also very, very nice, and you can see just how well they come across here. You do have a staircase or ladder, which is also part of the tooling. This back part, or the body of the truck, does appear to be an all-plastic piece. You can actually kind of hear that as I hit it with the plastic pointer tool. Here is your filler cap lid for the top of the fertilizer tank, along with some more casted-in detail. Moving along to the back of the truck, I would assume that I know nothing about fertilizer trucks, but I would assume that this is supposed to mimic some sort of a spray bar and maybe a motor at the back. You farming guys, please fill me in. Here are your red tail lights, which also look pretty good, and then your plastic mud flaps, again, are also molded into the tooling of the truck. This side of the truck also has more detailing into the tooling, but it is hard to see because it's black on black. Maybe if I tilt it towards you, you might be able to pick that up. There's something here and something here. And back over here, I believe that might be an exhaust that exits right here, or a muffler. It is subtle and black, but it does look kind of cool. Finally, taking a look underneath the truck, you can see that I have number 0141, 1982 Chevrolet C-60, Greenlight Collectibles. There's a little bit of untidiness with the glue work. That's not too uncommon on Greenlight Collectibles, unfortunately. However, the good news for collectors is, and customizers more specifically, is that this appears to be held together by some screws, so it should make for a pretty easy disassemble if you want to repaint this or customize these to your own specific needs. That will conclude my review on the Greenlight Collectibles 1/64 scale 1982 Chevrolet C-60 Fertilizer Truck. Overall, I think this is a nice addition to anyone who collects 1/64 scale trucks, or perhaps is into 1/64 scale farming equipment. I think it would look right at home on your farm diorama, or even on your roadways if you collect in 1/64 scale. As always, I'm Tommy with Diecast Emporium. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like and share it with your friends. And most importantly, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to us here on Diecast Emporium as we try to upload videos weekly. Thanks again so much for watching. Until next time, take care, be well, be safe. I'll catch you in the next review.